I think a lot of new people are jumping in the hobby, and I think it's not only them buying the fakes, it's them not being able to weed out what was a real sale. As early as this week, I found, I check mark. We know it's, not a real bidding, shill bidding across multiple items. Somebody then lists the similar item, shill bidding happening. I mean, and it's all over the place. And some of these cards that we're seeing a slight decline, the decline might not be real. The peak might have been fake. So like when you look at a card, base set unlimited Charizard PSA 9 or BGS 9, I know Logan Paul sold some, and those were probably real sales because you're buying it from a famous person, you want to pay a little more. But other than that, the couple of sales that we saw right after his video that hit 7,000 or 5,000 or 6,000, maybe the card was never worth more than 4,500, and those were fake sales. And they I see it dropping a little bit, but I don't know if the drop is real. If that makes sense, is I think the drop might just be where it was supposed to be, and those were fake shill bidding sales. So the data kind of is a little off, and that causes new buyers to think, well, 4,700, that's a steal. I'm not an expert in the matter, but it could be a steal, it could not be a steal. You got to really analyze all the different sales. I think only using auctions, that used to be the standard. I'm going to use auctions to figure out what stuff's worth. I think finding buy it nows now is almost more telling of what something's worth, because the auctions are what the shill bidders are targeting. The shill bidders aren't just clicking buy it now and paying for the items to shill an item up. So the actual sold listings, I think are almost more telling in the Pokemon market. What did somebody actually sell this for, and somebody was willing to pay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting to see, like those different ways that the market can be manipulated. I mean, I know I've heard this before, and I've never owned a card shop. I've never been a local business owner like that, but I've heard of maybe a collection of sports card stores going into eBay, pricing like a particular card at a certain amount, and then they will buy each other's, and then all of a sudden we see an influx of like, I don't know, like a Vlad Jr. Rookie card going for X amount of money when that card is probably in all reality worth like $5. You kind of see a little bit of pricing manipulation right there, and it just sounds really similar, based on what you're saying. It's just manipulation of the market.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between the shill bidding or market manipulation and somebody that's making investment. So like I might go on TCG Player and say, hey, Blastoises look like a really good deal today. I'm going to buy 200 of them, everyone that's under $100, let's say. We've made some decisions like this in the past, just on a particular card that we think is a good deal. Does that affect the market? Well, the new bottom priced one is now $100, and I own all these ones that were $40 and $50 and $60. We're living in a month ago history. I know that it's hard to find that stuff anymore. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because we backed up the purchase. We paid for the items. There's no manipulation of the market. We paid for the items, and by doing so, it increased the average price of them. It's a little different when somebody bids on something and then doesn't pay. Or in that scenario where you're talking about the multiple card dealers, obviously they're not following through with these transactions because they're plotting it to just increase the value of their own items. So I think there's a big, just because somebody asks a lot of money for something, I don't think they're manipulating the market. That's just free market. You can ask whatever you want for your items. Just because they buy out everything of something, that's free market. Like I'm okay with people doing that, especially with singles. Gary from Pawn Stars owns 20 first edition PSA 10 Charizards. He bought those from people. He didn't grade every one of those himself. It's okay for somebody to own a large stake of an individual card or market, as long as they're willing to back it up. It's not like he's making sure everyone on eBay goes over a certain price and then not paying. So I think there's a fine line, and people don't really necessarily understand the two. That's what I want people to know, is that if people are backing up their purchases on eBay or TCG Player or whatever, the market's going to go up. They're just trying to get their piece of what they perceive to be a good deal.